Hello, John aka Chicken Fillets here, and we're nearing the end of 2023. Now, I've had some time to reflect about, well, my top 10 games that I've played throughout this year. Now, whether that's, new releases which came out this year, or games from my backlog. I've actually tackled some games from the backlog. So, with this all in mind, let's have a look at my top 10 games played in 2023. Now, what I want to know after this is, well, what were your top 10 games? Let me know in the comments down below. Anyway, let's see what is on the list. Now, first up is Paper Mario: The Origami King, and it's one of the backlog games that I got through in 2023. And you know what? It's also the first time I've played any Paper Mario game, and I had a swell old time with this game. Now, listen, the game has its flaws. Now, mainly the combat, because, well, it's not really fulfilling, because you do the combat, but there's no sort of rewards apart from getting coins. There's no sort of JRPG, RPG leveling up systems, which you'd seen in the likes of the 1000-Year Door. However, it is a very gorgeous game, lots of comedic writing and moments in this game, and it just really resonated with me. And if anything, it's now got me excited for the 1000-Year Door remake, which is due out in 2024. In at number 9 is The Legend of Heroes Trails into Reverie, the epilogue into the Cold Steel and Crossbell arcs in the Legend of Heroes series. Now, this game brought something unique to the Trails system, which was having the Trails to Walk system. So basically, you got to play the story in the set of 3 different perspectives, whether that was Reen Schwarzer, or Lloyd Bannings, or the Mysterious Sea. And the signature Trails combat is in full effect here, and it is brilliant. But why is it this low on the list? Well, it did not grab me as much as the likes of Trails to Azure and the likes of the Trails to Cold Steel games. I don't know why it didn't grab me. There was some points which I felt the game was really dragged down, and this was when you were in those corridors and just generally grinding all the characters. I just felt that this put a stopgap in between story moments. It is, however, a game that should be played if you are into the Trails of series, but make sure to play the Crossbell games and the Cold Steel arcs before you play this. In at number 8 is Final Fantasy XVI. The reason why I bought a PlayStation 5, because when I saw the trailers for this game, I was just blown away. And you know me with Final Fantasy. Now, this is taking a different approach compared to other Final Fantasies, with it being full action combat, similar to the likes of your Devil May Cry games. Now, why is it at number 8? Because you know what? The story's great, the graphics are great, etc. Now, for me, the story was very, very dark. And it felt like every time that you were going somewhere, you were always too late and there was always a victim. Also, the pacing with this game was off. You'd be getting really in-depth with the story, and then all of a sudden you're back at the hub world doing side quests, and it just felt that this really stunted it being higher on the list. It's still a fantastic game which you should play, but just note that there is a bit of pacing issues with this game. Trails from Azure is definitely now one of my favourite Legend of Heroes Trails of games, because everything in this package is just fantastic. Whether it's from the characters, the story beats, the combat and the music, this is the full package JRPG. Now you might be thinking, well, hold on, why is that number 7 if you're giving it this much praise? Well, the reason for this is because, well, the next following games just made a bigger impression on me this year. Taking nothing away from this game, Trails from Azure is a fantastic game, and if you are a Trails from fan, this is one that you will definitely agree with, that everyone should play this game if they get the chance. But yeah, make sure to play Trails from Zero to get the full experience. Once you get into Crossbell, you'll never want to leave. Now in 2023, I received my first ever review code, and that first game was Fate Samurai Remnant. So this is why it is placed so highly on this list. Now this action JRPG, I have generally really loved my time with. The action combat in this game is so slick. The graphical style with the cell shading, you know me, I love this in games. And the story has been amazing. I absolutely love the duo of Lori and Saber in this game. And I really do actually enjoy the Fate series as a whole, and I do think it's kind of underrated. But this game now has history with me and has history with the channel, so this will always hold a special place in my heart. Now in at number 5 is Persona 5 Royal. Now, this isn't my first rodeo with Persona 5. I had actually played the original version which came out on PlayStation 4, but this was my first experience with the Royal Edition, which I played on the Nintendo Switch. Now what this game did was just took the original and just amped it up and made so many quality of life improvements that I'd felt like a completely new game. I was just so happy to revisit this story and get back in touch with the Phantom Thieves. The combat here is timeless, the story is timeless, and the music is just timeless as well. I really cannot wait to go back to this story again. Hopefully, and you never know, it could appear in next year's list as well. Now next up is Star Ocean's Second Story R, the remake of the PS1 JRPG classic. And full disclosure, I did receive this as a review code from Square Enix, which, by the way, for my little brain was just utterly outstanding. Now this game does deserve this place in this list because this JRPG remake really has defined how a remake should be, because the presentation and graphical style is just gorgeous, and all the quality of life improvements from the previous iterations of this game just made this a complete joy to play. The combat is in full swing here, and the music has been updated, which is just so crisp, and you will just bop your head to the battle music every time it comes on. And I highly recommend that if you've not played this JRPG yet, get your hands on it. You will not be disappointed. My first RPG, which I completed in 2023, was Live Alive, the remake of the 1994 Japanese-only RPG. And I tell you what, this is just an amazing game through and through. Having 8 different stories in varying lengths, set in different periods of time. The turn-based combat in this game as well is really fun, and the music, oh, you know me, I love my music when it comes to games, but this really does hit hard. And also the HD 2D graphical style, oh, I love these sort of games, and this is the pinnacle of all these HD 2D games. Yes, Octopath Traveler is great and all, but this really does it for me. If you've not played this game, come on, get it on your list and get it played. Harvest Stella is in at number 2, and this was my surprise game of 2023. Now yes, it's another one from my backlog, but this was a game which was really mishandled by Square Enix because it was marketed really as a farming sim game, but this is far from it. Yes, there's some farming sim elements to it, but this is more of an action JRPG. The story here is just fantastic. The characters you'll fall in love with. And yes, there's that farming element, but it has reasons for it being there. It helps you throughout your adventures, where you're able to craft potions, craft other items which will help you in combat. Everything about this Nintendo Switch JRPG exclusive just grabbed me straight in, and I have been singing its praises ever since, and it really is a JRPG which has been completely slept on. Honestly, if you've not played this game, I do have a review on the channel which you can check out and see if this JRPG is right for you. But you know what I'll say to you, come on, get it played! Now before we get to my number one pick, here's some honourable mentions. Planet Coaster is a theme park management game which I always go back to because it's such a fun and relaxing time. Sonic Origins is the full package, and it has given me the chance to revisit my childhood favourite hero Sonic the Hedgehog in a one-off package on my Nintendo Switch, and I love revisiting it. And yes, there's Final Fantasy VII Remake obviously. Now to my number one pick of 2023. Nier Automata is my number one top game of 2023. Now, if you've been keeping tabs on the channel this year, you'll have seen the impact that Nier Automata has had on me this year. I questioned if this was my new all-time favourite JRPG, and the simple answer to this is it's in my top 5 JRPGs of all time now. Everything about this game just resonated with me, from the story, from the characters, the music, and the combat, and this dystopian Earth. Everything about this game is just amazing and never misses a beat. I cannot wait to dig my claws into this game once again, and having this on Nintendo Switch, which I completed it on, I will tell you this right now, that this is an amazing port and looks fantastic on this system as well. If you have not played this JRPG masterpiece yet, I would highly recommend that you do so, because you may have these same feelings about this game that I have gathered from playing this game. Nier Automata deserves to be at the top of this list, and will probably be making more appearances on this channel because of the impact this game has had on me. So there we have it, that is my top 10 games for 2023. What were your thoughts on this list? Let me know in the comments down below. Now if you like what you're hearing and seeing on the channel, please help me grow it by liking, sharing and subscribing. And if you want to be kept up to date with everything Chicken Fillets, please hit that notification bell. This has been John Chicken Fillets, and until next time, tatty bye!